Today joining us is Ben Lamb. He works at Calfee's and is related to Calfee's. We're going to find out exactly how. And he also has a hat company, which I'm wearing now, which is my signature black. It's going to be a great discussion. Thanks for joining us. And I was late today, and it's been there since 1 o'clock, but it's still warm. So tell me exactly how you're related to the Calfees. Let's do the tree.
Yeah, so my mom is a Calfee. Her dad was Victor Calfee, and Wanda Calfee was her mother. So Victor's my grandfather. You got three brothers over there, and they also have a sister, but the three brothers in the store, Victor, Richard, and Leroy. And Victor's
What about Stan and Clyde and Clyde Calfee,
So,
the well diggers?
Yeah, all Calfees in Cleveland related, but that's distant family from me. So that's not my immediate
So
family.
they're not like cousins. They're like second or third cousins,
Yeah,
something like that.
distant cousins.
So yours starts with Virgil.
No, Willard.
Willard.
So Willard was my great-grandfather.
Willard was John Paul's great friend.
Okay.
Do you
yeah.
remember John Paul coming in there?
Probably not.
That
So,
was before your era. He was there every morning.
Yeah. My we call him Paul Calfee. Paul Calfee died when I was in the 6th grade, and he was 82 years old. But yeah,
So you called Willard
Paul Calfee.
Paul Calfee.
Yep. And then my grandpa, Victor Calfee, I called him Poppy.
I see.
But
And so his sister.
his sister is Deanie, Willardine Malone. She's got a bus company. They run buses and
In Cleveland?
yep,
School buses?
school buses. Yep.
Whenever you read a story in the newspaper or see something on television about somebody getting arrested, you naturally assume they're guilty. Unless the story's about you or someone you love, then you'll think differently. And you'll want a lawyer who will defend you. My name's Scott Canavis. If you or someone you love has been charged with a crime, call me. I'll return your phone calls, I'll work on your case, and I will defend you.
Had a boy, had company. We believe in the power of creativity. We have a hat that can accompany your diverse style and personality. That had a boy, had company. To celebrate individuality, celebrate creativity, and the spirit of being free and adventure.
I get it confused.
Willard Calfee
Yep.
is my great-grandfather. Victor Calfee's my grandfather. And then my mom used to be Angela Calfee. So that's how I'm in the Calfee clan.
That's how you-
My dad, William Lamb,
He married into the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And now, was he from Cleveland originally?
No, he's from Macon, Georgia. His whole family's all in Macon. We used to go down there every Thanksgiving. We'd go for.
How did he meet
Yes.
her?
He said he met her at a Thomason College, and they went to Thomason College together. And he had a crush on her. He said for a long time she wasn't paying no attention. And
How did he get her attention, you reckon?
he said that he begged her for a date, and he said, if you'll just give me one date, I'll never speak to you again. And either you can go out with me or not. And so she said okay to get him off her back.
I wonder where they went.
Man,
House. They went to my house.
did they
They
really?
went to your.
Meal for the 4 of us.
Went to
yeah,
Gwen's house.
absolutely.
Now, isn't that weird? It's
Oh,
a
wow.
small world, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah.
So let's see now. Gwen's wife. What's that relation to the
No
cow?
relation. His brother married his aunt. She's a Calfee. So that's the only connection.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom's my mom's sister's husband
Is my brother-in-law.
is his brother-in-law.
Boy, that's a small world, isn't
Yeah.
it? God, you can't talk about anybody in
I
Cleveland.
know it.
Do you live in Chattanooga or Cleveland?
Cleveland. I live 2 miles from the store.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Durkee Road, down there off Patterson. Take a left on Patterson. And you know where those horses are?
Yep.
That's where my mom and dad live. That's where I grew up.
Oh.
And then I built a house up there on the right off of Patterson.
Scott, well, Gwen used to live over close to there, didn't you?
He lived in my grandparents' first house.
Where your mom was raised.
Yep.
Close to Scott Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine.
Okay. But
Yeah, he lived 2 doors down from you. Boy, it's a small world.
yep.
Now the Calfies, that store wasn't always on the corner, was it?
No, there's been several different stores. So, you know, we had back in the day, I believe 1971, we got a new sign up there now that says Calfee's established 1971. And so I guess that would date back to the first year the store opened. But we had stores on Spring Place Road. That's where I used to get dropped off every day from school. And we'd play cards back there in the stock room, me and my brothers. And then, but sometimes we would go and I guess play bag boy, and we would take people's groceries to their cars. I was in the 3rd grade, and I remember I made $43 one day, and boy, we thought we were
Just tips.
we thought we was getting it.
On Spring Place, that
yeah.
Calfee's there.
Yep, it's a storage center
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
And then had one on Georgetown Road, and
Yep. That was a busy one, wasn't it?
yes, yeah, and then the 64 Highway location. So that was, there used to be, up there where the produce stand is, there used to be a little, like a little one-man gas station type deal. I don't remember it. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what it
I don't
looked
remember.
like.
I don't remember that one either.
But they had the whole thing, and they ended up moving it down there to the corner, and Paul Calfee started making biscuits, and
Boy,
just
how many biscuits would y'all say you sell in a morning?
oh man, it ranges. You know, right now it's a little slow. January's always slow, but when it's hopping, you're looking at, 500 biscuits, and then it can go up or down. You know, it might go 400, or on a Friday you might
500
sell
people are coming in saying,
650.
"Give me a biscuit."
Well, yeah, I mean essentially,
Golly, that's a lot.
yeah, we sling them, but
And then lunch too.
lunch is not really as busy, but we do sell. Obviously, you know what we sell at
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah.
We sell the fried bologna sandwiches
Yeah.
and the shaved ham. But we keep lunch pretty calm. We don't really.
It's simple, isn't it?
It's simple. We don't have a big lunch menu.
Well, it's fresh though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we shave that ham every morning. Shave that bologna. They're cuts
It's
of bologna.
thick.
Yeah, thick sliced bologna.
They put 2 on mine sometimes.
Yep.
Is it always 2 or just sometimes 1?
Well, now that I know, it might just be 1. I'm just kidding. No, it's not always 2. Sometimes it just depends.
When I'm with somebody, we count how many pieces of ham or bologna did you get? We'll count.
You compare.
Yeah.
Do they get it too, or are you getting special treatment?
Sometimes they'll get cheese and bologna. I think if you get bologna, sometimes it's 2 slices, and if you get bologna and cheese, it's 1 slice of bologna and 1 slice of cheese. Yeah. I think.
Just
not
sometimes
positive, but-
sometimes it just depends on what side of the bed they woke
Yeah,
up on.
yeah, it's just random, and I think that's what makes it better, don't you?
Oh yeah. It's almost like you're in the living room or in, at home, and that's what you got that day.
But boy, those biscuits are good. I don't know where y'all get them, but they're good.
Hey, they're famous homemade frozen biscuits. They used to make them, roll them out every single day,
Yeah.
and it just got you couldn't keep up with it
You
now.
couldn't do it.
But there's a process, to making them good.
What time do they get in to start making the biscuit? Or
First one gets there at 3:15,
God, 3:15.
and then Leroy gets in there around 4 o'clock and 3:45, and he'll start making them, and then I get there at 7, and I start cooking, and he takes off, and we just rock on from there. And then everybody just files in.
And then what time do y'all close?
5 o'clock. So we don't sell beer or lottery or cigarettes, so we don't, what is there to sell
besides gas,
after
right?
5 o'clock gas, and you can get that 24 hours. So.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
So you just put that in. Oh, I didn't know that.
Swipe at the pump. And,
You have a lot of people getting gas of the evening, but nobody's there?
oh yeah, yeah. They swing in there all throughout the night. We leave the lights on, and that helps with security too. Just keep it lit up. But yeah, they get that gas.
It's sort of a
Sundays.
courtesy anyway, because you're not making much off gas, right?
Oh no, gas just gets them to stop. But it's a unique thing over there. It's not like normal gas stations, you know. But we enjoy it. We really do.
Well, it works.
Yeah.
It works. Wonder why they did all the remodeling.
We did that just to. It was due. It was time. It was probably overdue. But we just decided that we give this thing a facelift and keep going. You know.
Have you noticed the traffic picking up there from Benton, or is it just my imagination?
It probably has. I think for me, sitting there watching it every single day, I wouldn't realize a drastic change,
Yeah.
or it would have to be drastic for me to realize it. You know, I think a little at a time. Next thing you know, the car count's doubled, and I didn't even notice. But maybe. I know business has been good for us over the past few years. It's been picking up slowly, and I wonder if it's not from the subdivisions coming in out our way.
I guess. And maybe people I think more people are going to Benton now.
Yeah.
That's where I've been working in Benton, and that's where I've been. Now I'm in East Ridge, so I'm a different route or different direction. Mm-hmm. So do you auctioneer too?
I do auctioneer. I auctioneer a little bit.
Who do you auction with?
Well, I'm so tied up at the store, I've never really pursued it full time. So I get to help some of the real estate guys in town, but I also do a lot of benefit auctions. We do, Ben Carroll?
Yep.
Me and him work together a lot on a lot of the benefit auctions in town. We do right there at 5 Points, and then I'll go. I went to Vegas in December for 10 days and sold out there, and it's a little different deal out there from what we're doing, but we enjoy it.
See, I used to go to Max's auctions all the time.
Yeah.
And he'd start exactly on time, and it'd be over in 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't waste
He didn't
any
waste no
time.
time.
These new auctioneers, they'll ramble on keep you there for an hour, but he'd let it roll, man.
I tell you, you train your crowd that way.
I know it.
You might have to take a hit, once or twice, but when they know that you're going to start on time and you ain't going to mess around, they'll show up. They'll show up and they'll start bidding.
Max used to tickle me. When he started auctioning, he'd put his foot up on a chair or something, and he'd start wiggling his hips as he.
Yeah, I do that when I used to sell the horse sale down there. I'd move my legs like this. I just keep them going.
When you're doing that, are you actually? Do you know what you're saying, or is it just some fill-in?
Oh yeah, they're called filler words. So when they teach you at auctioneer school, I went to auctioneer school in Missouri. Me and Ben went together, and actually I sold for 2 years before I went to auctioneer school. I sold down there at the horse sale.
Which horse sale?
Burrell Horse Auction.
Oh, yeah.
Down there.
Yeah,
On Bates Pike.
What do they call it? Horse around?
You're thinking horseplay.
Horseplay, yeah.
Yeah, that was just a Western store,
yeah.
I guess. I never been to horseplay.
I went once or twice. I used to go to Appson.
I guess they got a wedding venue there now.
I used to go to Appson. You're
Yeah,
too young
I
for
never
that.
been to Appson. I heard a lot about
Boy,
it.
that was a big deal.
But
why would you want to do that?
auctioneering?
Yeah.
I was just really intrigued by it. I'd go down there to the horse sale and I'd see them guys sell, and I always wanted to learn it. And I saw this younger guy get up there, and he was just rattling on. He was as good as I'd ever heard, and I thought, man, if he can do that, why can't I? Mm-hmm. And so I started YouTubing and looking stuff up, looking about how to get started, and then I would go down there to the sale, and I'd stand beside the block and just do it to myself, you know. Not a clue what I was doing, but I stand there trying. And then Tony came up to me. He said, hey, he said, why don't you start selling this cell for me sometime? Or I'll put you in, you know, just giving me a shot. And, man, I had no clue what I was doing. I was scared to death, got up there.
Afraid you'd sell something that they didn't buy.
I mean, you're dealing with people's pocketbook.
Oh, yeah, lots of money. And somebody else that didn't buy.
Yeah.
Because now they thought
you're dealing with somebody selling and somebody buying. And if they give...
Plus somebody's
And so there's a...
Well, you're actually dealing with 2 or 3 that may be wanting to buy.
Yeah, there's a big variable there. But, yeah, so I saw that he was doing it, and I was like, I could do that. And he gave me a shot, and I ended up selling that cell for a couple of years before I went to auctioneer school. And then I went to auctioneer school and got certified and learned a little more about it. But
when I was growing up, you'd go through the summer, you'd go to 4 or 5 a year.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Lewis had them. Max Carroll had them.
Yeah.
Johnny Lewis and his dad had them. And, of course, Don Harris.
Oh, yeah. The Land Man.
Yeah, the Land Man. And seems like there were a couple of others that would do. I think maybe Frank Lawson did some. You're too young for him, too.
Yeah.
So you've missed a lot of these old guys that were really in the business.
I'm an old soul, though.
You're an old soul. You look young, though. What are you, about 31?
31. I turned 31 January 1st. And, but I'm an old soul.
Well, you missed the new year by 1, didn't you?
I did.
What is it people always want for taxes? They want what is it people want to...
Like they're spending money before the new year?
Yeah, something like that. What is that, Gwen?
I ain't never figured out how to make it work.
I think you get to, if you have them on the 31st, you get to deduct them for the whole year, and you didn't have them. So something like that.
Get your tax write-off that year.
Is there anything they say about people born on the first?
Nah.
That'd make you what, a Sagittarius?
They're good looking and successful, I guess.
Does that make you a Sagittarius?
I don't know.
Capricorns?
A Capricorn, maybe. I couldn't even tell you what a Capricorn meant.
I believe it's a Sagittarius. I think.
I don't know.
So Ben's, did y'all go to school together?
Ben Carroll?
Yeah.
Nope. We went to auctioneer school together, but I met him long after I was in high school.
So did you go to Bradley?
I went to Walker Valley. I went to Lake Forest.
Dang, I didn't know Walker Valley'd been there that long.
I think Walker Valley started in 8, 9, 10, 11, 01.
Of course, 31's not that young. I remember when I was 31, it was like yesterday. The 30s are a blur.
Hey, when I hit 27, it freaked me out, and I thought, man, this is weird. And then 30, and now 30, I don't know. It's like I'm on the bubble. Like,
well, the 30s are just a blur. You don't really remember them.
Yeah.
The 40s slow down some.
You think so?
Yeah. The 40s slow down a little bit, but the 30s are literally just a blur because you're trying to get something going.
Yeah.
So tell me about this hat company.
Attaboy hat company.
Yeah, thanks for the hat.
You bet. Happy to do it. I'll send
you. You don't bend your hat, do you?
No, not much. I'll take it. Sometimes I'll put them corners together and it still keeps it a little flat.
See, well, we always were taught to do this.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 31, so I can get a little flat.
That's the skateboard way.
No, I wear my hat on top of my head like that, and I feel weird if I suck it down.
You wear it like a military.
Yeah, or an old farmer. Or
more of a military.
Is that, you think so?
Yeah, military, they'll wear them like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon. But yeah, Attaboy Hat Co. That's, I guess we thought of the idea in 2022, and then we rolled it out last year. We sat on it for a couple of years, but I wanted to build a brand that we could be proud of, and something that meant more than just something to wear, you know.
Who's we?
Me and my wife, I guess. But my wife, Lexi Lamb, and then we just had a new baby 5 months ago. We call him Wilder Benjamin Lamb.
Now, is that your first name, Wilder? Where did that come from?
Wilder?
Yeah.
Honestly, we just liked it. And I thought, I kind of wrestled with that. I thought, can we name a kid something we just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or does it have to have? And it had a little bit of meaning in a song, later on. But I'd have named it that had I listened to that song or not. But yeah,
Is your wife from Georgia?
she
From
is.
Blue Ridge?
Yep,
What part of Blue Ridge? I used to go to Blue Ridge all the time.
Cherry Log,
Cherry
Georgia.
Log, right there where the
Highway
the
two-
Bigfoot Museum is.
Highway 2. Well, yeah, right up the road.
Yeah,
She ain't 10 minutes from there.
yeah.
But yeah, Cherry Log, Georgia. Well, I guess Blue Ridge, but
I used to
Her
own the
address
Douglas Inns
is
and Suites
okay.
on top of the hill.
How many rooms does it have?
28, I think,
That's it.
maybe 30.
Really?
It was before any of the Home Depot or any of that.
What's
was
there now?
It's still there.
Who's got it?
Some guy bought it from Atlanta, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So some guy bought it, and then he went let it go back, and then I bought it back from the bank, and then I sold it again. But Cherry Log, that's a nice place, isn't it?
Oh, they got a pretty place down there. Caches Valley. That's right there where her whole family is. She's kind of like us. She's got a big family in Blue Ridge, though. And yeah, it's a beautiful place.
It's what, an hour and 12 minutes drive?
Oh yeah, depends on how fast you're going, but I'd probably get there in an hour. Back when we was dating, I was hit that road. I convinced her that Chilhowie, the bottom right there, was halfway though. If we want to meet and go watch a sunset, I told her that was halfway for both of us, but it's
Yeah.
only about 20 minutes for
Right,
me, and
right,
she's
right.
carrying the rest. So
I had back when I was building that motel, that I got these things that it was a strange story, but you just got to know the area. So I got these things that were supposed to be good for your teeth, and you squirted this stuff in it, and you with a needle, and you put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was doing it, but anyway, so I was up there one Sunday night, coming back to Cleveland. I was in one of these little Nova cars, and I was just moving down the road, coming down the mountain. Stopped by the police. Had a gun on me. It was dark, and I had those needles. And you wouldn't believe the Polk County Police that were surrounding me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I finally got out of that, but I did. I didn't get a ticket or nothing. It was like 10 o'clock at night.
golly,
I never will forget that.
I got pulled over right there one time coming off of the. I was zipping it home, but I was real sick, and I thought I was fixing to throw up. And I thought, if I can just get home, I'll be good. Which throwing up scares me to death, anyways. I hate it. But they pulled me over, and he said, "Sir, why are you so fast?" And I said, "Well, man, I'm sick."
Yeah.
And he just kept talking to me, and I finally looked at him. I said, "I either got to get out or I got to go." And he said, "Just go and slow down." So he let me go.
You must have really looked sick.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
That's a good policeman
Hey, he's
that
good
will
to me.
think like that.
He's good to me. But
So where you get the name Had a Boy?
we were on the Tennessee River. I guess we was coming out of the Hiwassee right there at Judd Slough, getting on the Tennessee. We were going to eat at Jacob Myers. It's not open anymore. But we were headed to Jacob Myers, and we was just reflecting on life and talking about, the stuff we get to do and enjoy, and just being thankful. Me and my wife, and I said we ought to create. We was talking about hats, because I wear hats religiously. I keep them on my head all the time. You do too, right?
I take spells. I'll go for a while and then I'll change.
Yeah. But I'll keep a hat on all the time, and I said we ought to just start a hat company and just start taking it with us everywhere we go. If we go to Montana skiing or something, let's take it with us if we're working. And she said, "Attaboy, get after it." And I was like, "Attaboy." And so we kind of built around the name and developed a why and went from there. And now we got a website, and we're we're fixing to be an Ace Hardware.
Boy, how did you get in there?
Man, lots of emails.
To who?
My dad knows somebody, not the person that I was talking to, but he had a contact up there that got me in with Garrett Glenn, who is actually the centralized.
Well, ain't that something, Gwen?
Yeah, but
You got a brother named Tom.
oh yeah, yep. So
Well, he's one of the owners, isn't he?
So I'm not sure what he plays in there, but I know that's been my contact, and he's a great guy. They're great people, and boy, everything's top notch. Though I had to do not jump through a lot of hoops, but just comply with a lot of things. You know, barcodes. Every hat has to have a barcode, a UPC, compatible with their system. You know, so I've been learning a lot. You know, I've been telling everybody I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing. And so we ain't sitting still.
Well, it's something to get in there.
Oh yeah, it's we're hoping it's gonna be good. So
I noticed they have a lot of displays that are like stuff like this. I think they have something like honey, local honey, and stuff like that.
He said they love to do local stuff. So we actually came up.
They won't do the podcast. I asked them.
Will they not? How come?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Glenn.
Well, there you go. I don't know.
But so that should really help sales.
I hope so. I think if anything, it'd be great exposure. You know, I think for us, what's going to help us get out there is I don't want to be just a fad, something that's on social media, and then I mean, my gosh, TikTok shut down yesterday. We weren't even on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to be something that's a household name, a household brand. You know, and I think there's something too where people like when they can try them on and feel them and look at them, buying them online. I think people are kind of leery of it. But
Yeah, because you get a lot of cheap ones online that
Yeah.
don't have the. I noticed you got the good clips on the back.
Yeah,
the
it's
old,
quality.
the old clips that
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, their quality is not none of that Velcro stuff. It's a good brand. It's Richardson.
And it's vented. That's something.
Yep. Yeah, I guess we've got 25 or 6 different styles now.
But that embroidery is expensive.
It is. And getting it all right and buying them you got to buy them in mass quantities. You know, you got to buy a bunch at a time. But like I said,
Well, you have to buy like 500 at
getting
a
after
time
it.
or 1,000.
No, we purchased about 400 or 500 at a time, and I hope one day I'm buying 1,000 every 2 days.
So somebody can buy them online or just exclusively from Ace now?
No, they can buy them online, hattaboyco.com, and you can get on there and pick out whatever you want, ship it straight to you.
So yours says Hattaboy Supply Company.
So this was the first hat that I ever made. That's whenever I came up with the idea, and this is kind of nostalgic, and I've been keeping up with stuff like that, you know, eventually in a showroom I'll have on a display, maybe 5-10 years from now, you know. I got a $100 bill that a man gave me and told me he was praying for my business and just a real successful guy. And I'm gonna frame that, you know, different stuff. I got a hat that went to Africa. It's got that African red dust on it. And so just somebody gave me that hat back. And
Have you got what do you call it, copywritten?
I do not yet. I've looked into it, and I've talked to some lawyers about it, and it's something I could still do, but they say it's just one more step. You know, it's almost like
You're almost already done it in a
right.
way.
They say once you've started a business
Yeah.
and it's been established, then that protects you.
Yeah.
But I would like to have the little R beside Hattaboy.
Yeah.
You know, so that'd be kind of cool. And this brand, the HB. But yeah.
I had a guy on here that was a branding expert, and that was his trade.
Yeah.
And I always wondered what was the you know, what were the tricks in branding something? You know, and I wished I could have asked him more.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because you can brand some stuff that will just stick.
Oh yeah.
Like the remember when they had that Tom Hanks movie came out, Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah.
Remember when he took
Yeah.
that towel and or T-shirt and he wiped it, and then everybody was wearing these shirts with the smiley face on it.
Yep.
So that was sort of a branding thing, right?
Absolutely. What they call that, product placement,
Yeah.
where they don't talk about the product at all. It's
Right,
just there. you
right,
know.
yeah.
So if we weren't talking about Hattaboy, but we were wearing Hattaboy hats,
That's right.
Then it's product
Yeah.
placement.
Yeah.
But,
I've had people have me wear their shirts,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
which is, but yeah, that's something neat, and it's not something you have to worry about people getting food poisoning.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, you're not dealing with health inspectors. You're not.
Have you ever thought about numbering them?
The hats?
Yeah,
I don't reckon. Like as they come in,
yeah. Like I got a number 1, I got a number 7.
Yeah. that would be.
You would
neat.
have number 1.
Yeah, of every single design. I guess that would be cool.
Yeah, they should. That's what they do with paintings.
Yeah, I've thought about doing some exclusives, like I guess you would call it a drop, where I would have a certain hat that I would only make like 100 of.
Yeah.
And hey, this hat drops February 30th. Get in if you want it. I think there's and that'd just be another marketing technique. But I don't know. The sky's the limit. It's how hard you're willing to work at it.
You could have Hattaboy shirts.
Oh yeah, we've got some hoodies that we've not launched them yet, not put them out there yet. But we, I just want to grow slow and gradual and continual. I'm not real interested in a whole bunch of spikes and downs, and I just want to gradually climb.
Well, it's a good hobby that can turn into something.
Absolutely, yeah. And it works. I get to see a lot of people there at the store. I get to meet a lot of people, and so just playing off of that, and yeah.
You working being at that store, I bet you see all kinds of people come in with
Oh yeah.
all kinds of different hats.
Oh yeah.
It,
Oh yeah, and I pay a lot more attention to them now.
but do you notice that different trades or personalities will have, there's always saying don't wear too many hats, or I'm wearing too many hats, or I wear 2 hats, or because the hat used to really specify what you did. There's a welder's cap,
Yep. A hard hat.
plumbers
Cowboy
usually-
hat.
Plumbers will wear their hat backwards. Mechanics will too.
Yep.
You got horse
Yeah. Cowboys.
and well, the ones that just ride the carriage. What do they call
Oh,
that?
buggy.
Yeah, buggy. Don't they
Yeah.
wear a certain hat?
Yeah, kind of like a top hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got toboggans
Right. We just had some of those made.
with the same embroidery and everything.
Yeah, it has a different little design on it. But yeah, we got some camo ones, some cream ones, and some brown ones.
So do people go to your website?
They do. People order from the website. They can do that anytime. We've got them in, fixing to be an ace. They are in Decked Out right now. You know where Decked Out is? Right up there by, you know where Martha Ann's?
Yep.
And then that plaza.
Yep.
It's in that plaza.
Oh.
Decked Out.
What do they sell?
They sell, it's kind of like another men's store. They rent tuxes and different things.
Oh,
They sell
wow.
like, I don't know if they sell this brand, but Southern Tide type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Volunteer traditions, those nice pullovers and khakis, and then they sell a whole lot of Hattaboy hats.
They sell quite a few?
Yeah, they do pretty good. We just dropped some youth hats off to them the other day. Lexi did. Her and Wilder, she only works 2 days a week now, and the other time she's running around doing stuff. But she went and delivered some for us. And
let's see. What was I going to say? She does teeth, right?
Dental hygienist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she cleans teeth. She works for Dole Family Dentistry in Ooltewah,
Yeah.
and she enjoys it. You know.
I see some of their. Don't they? I see some. They have a bike riding team. I think.
I don't know. I know that they've rode. I guess that her boss rides bikes. Maybe.
Maybe that's it.
I'm not sure.
I've seen that name associated with
Yeah.
a shirt or something.
Maybe they sponsored something, or I don't know.
But do you think that, like being in the store, do you really notice the significance of the hats people wear that's associated to their trade and personality?
Yeah, you know, I think it's. I think what I'm seeing in there is probably not as much. Like nobody's coming in with their welder cap on, you know. But your blue collar guys,
Not like they used to.
Not like they used to.
They're probably if Burns Ornamental came by there, they would.
Right, but your blue collar guys are definitely, you know, they're repping it's going to be dirty.
Yeah.
and it's, I guess it's going to be about this style. And then you've got your high school boys, you know, the kids, the good old boys, the country boys, they're kind of rocking those flat bills, like this style, and the higher profile, putting it on top of their head. And then you got your cowboys that come in there, and they're working cows, and they got their cowboy hats on. And then obviously, you know, a lot of them are repping their business. They've got a hat with the name of their company on it. You know, we used to do that with a roping that we put on. Me and Ben Carroll, and we'd make, I think, 250 hats, and we'd give them away. And that was some of the best advertisement that we'd spent on, was just giving those hats away and getting them on people's heads. And, man, they're still wearing them, you know, and that was 6-7 years ago. And so, but yeah, I guess that'd be my observation of it.
It seems like that people tend to wear the hats of their trade. It's like when they grow up, they want to do this type of business. Like an auctioneer, he would wear a cowboy hat, wouldn't he?
Yep. John Paul Lewis told me, he said, he said, you need to get a certain look that every time you auction, you look like that. He said, when you come in, he said, you'll develop a look and people will know who you are. And he said, and it'll help you gain respect, and you know.
You know, well, on the Hoss Cartwright
Yep.
You know, he never changed
No.
suits, and neither did Matt Dillon. Or Gilligan's Island.
None of them. None of them.
People like familiarity.
Oh yeah, it makes a difference. And so we do that. You know, whether I'm doing a benefit auction, you know, or if I'm selling horses, if I'm at 5 Points Museum where the theme is Star Wars, you know, I'm wearing a certain thing, and so I wear a felt hat with generally a white shirt. That could change. Sports.
So when you didn't go to college or nothing, right?
I went to Lee for 2 years, and I'd look out the window and think, I'm missing out on so much. You know, I just want to work. And I had the opportunity to work at Calfee's with my grandpa, and we used to eat ice cream every night. And I we was eating ice cream one night, and I said, Poppy, I said, I need a job. I said, I just, and we worked there growing up. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm looking for full time. You know, I want to get started. And he said, well, just be there at 6 in the morning. You can do my job. And I said, okay. So I went, and that time he was still, making coffee and laying bacon, and did it because he enjoyed it more or less. And I went in and was there at 6, and the rest is history. I've been there ever since and really enjoyed it. You know, he passed in November, not this past year, but the year before that. And but I learned a lot from him and got to work with him every day.
Everybody liked him.
Oh my gosh, he was quiet, but when he spoke up, you better listen because it was important and it was good. But never hear a cross word about him.
Nope.
No.
John Paul liked him.
Yeah, he'd do what he said he'd do.
I can't believe you don't remember John Paul coming in there. You would have had to have seen him.
Probably. How long ago would that be?
That right there's his picture.
How long
You don't
ago?
look familiar? I can't remember when he died. I get to where I can't remember when things happen. What seems like a month ago will be 2 years ago.
Yep.
It's just,
My wife says that's COVID. She says that her memory is shot after COVID. She says she can't remember stuff.
my wife says that about hers. But I never really, I got it. Did you get it?
I got it 2 or 3 times.
I was out for 2 days,
Yeah.
but took 2 bottles of NyQuil.
We quarantined because we were in the food industry there at the store, so I took my 10 days, and I think I killed an 8-point buck in quarantine. But no, I guess I got COVID 2 or 3 times, and
Did you ever have it bad?
not really. I guess I felt a little weak.
My wife had it real bad.
No, I know several people got it real bad. I hate it for them. I know people that lost loved ones to it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So when you went to Lee College, you just take the general classes? You didn't take
I did. I went for business. I guess
just
you
business?
could say, yeah.
Yeah.
And I took the general classes, and I remember the last class I walked out of was elementary math. And I had ate at Dunkin' Donuts that morning. I went to elementary math, and boy, it was elementary math. And I called my mama. I said, Mom, I said, I'm done with this place. I said, I can't come back here. I said, I got to get out and get to work. I said, I'm missing opportunity. And she said, well, call your dad. My dad works at Lee.
Yeah.
And so I called my dad, and I told him the same thing. He said, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to get out here, and I'm going to, I'll work at the store, and I'll do other things, and, we'll just essentially work for ourselves and get out here and make something of ourselves. And he said, if you're going to do that, he said, I say get after it. He said, I think you can. And so that's what I did. I said, how do you quit college? He said, just don't go back. He said, they don't care. But that's...
Well, it was nice of him to not put the pressure on you.
He had asked me there at the beginning, he said, Ben, I really think you should go to school, and he suggested it. But then once it got real and down to a real conversation like that, that was his opinion. And he said, I'll be proud of you. He said, if you do what you say you're going to do. And I hope that he's proud of me now, But,
I went for a day and a half
yeah.
to college. I couldn't stand it.
See,
either.
you're better than me. It didn't take you 2 years to figure it out.
I was there a day and a half.
Yeah.
And I think one of the days was registration.
That's funny.
So it's not for me either. So what else is going on?
Oh, man. We got the store. We do Hattaboy, auctioneering. Got that new baby. That's awesome. There's nothing like fatherhood. You got kids?
2 kids. One's 24 and one's 21.
That's cool.
Or 22, I think now.
Yeah. That's like I was telling somebody the other day, that's a different type of love. You experience different types of loves growing up, love that's developed or being loved, and that's like an instant love. He comes out and you all of a sudden have this love for something that can't even hardly love you back.
And if somebody said, well, you can solve their problem if you jog to Chattanooga, they'd say, well, he's jogging to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't even stop to think.
No.
It's just it's automatic.
Yeah, you get the trotting, and that's it. That's one of the things that I didn't realize about it, and I don't guess you can realize until you feel it. And but
You haven't got to the fear yet, have you?
No.
Well, that's coming.
No, not much. I guess there was a few nights there in the beginning when I'd sit there and stare at him, make sure he's put my hand over his nose and say, "Are you breathing?"
Yeah.
But no, he's a blast now. He's a chunk. He's 20 pounds.
Dang.
And 5 months
5
old.
months. What are they supposed to be at 5 months?
I don't know. I've been kind of comparing him to other babies, like at church and stuff. I'll just look at him consciously. And
Does he eat good?
oh yeah, he's on that buttermilk. So that works.
Yeah.
He's got a good mama. She takes good care of him.
You gonna have any more?
I hope so.
It's good to have 2.
If the Lord allows it. you know. I think that would be awesome.
I think it's good to have two when they get older, they got help.
You know, I had two brothers. Tyler Lamb, he's the youth pastor at RTTN right here in Cleveland. And then Nick, he's got a company called T&. Dirt Pros, and he does excavation, dump trucking. But we grew up, we're 2 years apart. So I'd be 31, Nick be 33, Tyler be 35. And we got into everything growing up and just enjoyed it. You know, it's like you got built-in best friends.
Yeah.
But,
And when you get older, you got them to help you with parents and whatever else.
Absolutely. And you think about like my brothers, I'm the youngest. And so I got to see two examples do it first, and it's like you get to shave off what you don't like about the way that they did something or learn from them. And I guess it might be a kind of a tough way of looking at it, you know, for them, but I think that they kind of paved the way for me, and that's part of paving the way.
You're drafting them.
Yeah, it's kind of part of what we do. And then there's people that I'll pave the way for, you know, and they get to see how I do things. But then there's a lot of good that I get to take from it as well.
Yep.
And learn from them, and so.
You learn from experience. It just doesn't have to be your own.
Yeah, exactly. If you're smart enough.
Yeah. So you go to church over here with Gwen
Absolutely.
at Peerless Road?
Yep, over at Peerless Church.
Does Vernon West go over there still?
Vernon West.
Does he go over there, Gwen? Vernon, I guess I got wrong. He did, I think.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who else goes over there? See, I grew up on Norman Chapel Road,
Okay.
just 2 roads over.
I was thinking to say, that's just right up the road, right?
Yep. Just, about 2.
Yeah. I mean, my family goes
That
there.
used to be a field. That was just behind it was just all dirt. The road didn't even go all the way through then.
I remember when we built the sanctuary where we're at now. You know, we just had a renovation. We just totally renovated the whole thing. I guess we've been in there 5 or 6 weeks.
You gone there your whole life?
Pretty much. Started at Spring Place. I guess Gwen started at Spring Place too. But that's where my great-grandmother, Margaretta Calfee, she started that church. And so that's where I went for a long time. And, well, I guess a long time. I guess till I was 6. I was 6 years old. Then my dad took a youth pastoring job over at Peerless. Well, I don't know if it's youth pastor or associate pastor, one of them, but he did both of them. And, or they might have been 2 in 1. I believe it was. He was a youth pastor and the associate. But he took that job, and we moved over there and been there ever since. And so
I went to a funeral there for an electrician I used. I can't think of his name for some reason. It just left me.
I don't know.
Guess it's that COVID was talking about.
Yeah, it's that COVID memory. Terrible. I hate to give it credit for anything.
Do you think that you'd ever own your own convenience store, or you're just there?
Oh, it's you know, it's been a big.
It's not that fun?
No, we enjoy it.
Yeah.
We love it. I think we all kind of have the thought of, oh man, I'm married to this. You know, sometimes it's because you can't just up and leave. You got to tend to your stuff. You know, so maybe we all have that thought every now and then. But other than that, you know, I think we really enjoy going to work, and being 2 miles from there helps a lot as well. I feel bad for Lexi. She's got to go all the way to Ooltewah. Had to go to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And I know that's not far, but I think to myself, man, if I had to go that far to work every day, it'd be terrible. You know.
If you lived in a big city, it might take 45 minutes to get to work, and they don't think nothing about it.
You know, I don't ever travel to town. Sometimes I go to Laster's or Just Love over there in the Pie Center.
Yep.
And I'll have coffee on Monday mornings. I got a couple of boys that I have coffee with from the church. And then, but other than that, like I don't get far past that, especially not at 8:30 in the morning, you know, rush hour or 7:30. But when I do, I think, man, this is foreign to me, you know, because I'm always just at the store.
Yeah.
I don't realize how much traffic's there. I don't realize, you know, how many people are coming through town at that time. And then same thing with 5 o'clock. You can't get down APD 40 where Spring Creek is.
You can't do it.
You can't get through there at 5 o'clock.
I don't know why that's gotten so much busier. Well, I guess it's because Inman. They closed Inman there for a while, I guess.
Yeah. and then everybody just kind of got their new route.
Yeah.
You think a lot of people didn't go back to Inman?
Yeah. I think when you change people's habits, it's hard to change their habits back.
Yeah.
And I'm a habit guy. So it's hard to break my habit.
Yeah.
But when you break it, there's a new habit. And
Yeah.
It's just
Something else is gonna take
the
over.
other people got to break it.
Yeah.
You know.
Boy, if you could learn to play that into business,
You,
you know, such as this, if you,
that's the key to business.
it's like I,
Because everybody's to be good in business, everybody has a good product.
Yeah.
Everybody has a good service. That's the prerequisite. You're only dealing the only competition you have is the competition that's equally as good.
right.
The bad competition's going to be gone anyway, so you can ignore them. So now, how do you beat the competition? Because being good is just a prerequisite.
Right.
I mean, even the hats. I mean, there's nothing proprietary about that other than the name.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they see the name.
That's all you got.
That's all you got.
Because you can get that good of a hat about anywhere.
Right.
You're just selling the nostalgia.
Yeah. And I think too, you know, my grandpa told me one time, he said, Ben, he said, that store across the street, they got 1,200 stores. He said, we can't beat them on prices. He said, we got to beat them in service. And he said, so that's how we make people feel when they come in the door. And
Yeah. And I think maybe there's even still more to it. You got to have service. Maybe they do too. Maybe they have it temporarily. You know, the other store may have a good cashier for 3 months, but then they leave. So, so I think it's creating people with a habit.
yeah, for sure.
I think that's why I was talking about Inman Street. I think when they close that down and change people's direction, it'll be a while before they go back. They'll all be going the other direction.
Do you think we'd ever break the habit of you wearing a black hat? Would we ever change the color? No. Straight black.
So, I've wore a black shirt for 15 years, 20 years. And I didn't even know it till somebody brought it up. They said, you always wear a black shirt. And I thought, well, I didn't even know it, but I did.
Yeah.
I did. I just didn't know it.
I got a buddy that does that. His whole closet's just black shirts.
Well, you don't have to think. You know, you don't have, you eliminate the thinking.
Yeah.
So, do you think, somebody said that they were going to build another convenience store at the other corner. Have you seen that sign over there?
Over there, John Gillen's place.
No, the other one, close to Whirlpool.
Oh yeah, the Harry's.
Yeah.
They just redid their sign.
I just saw that.
I know before it was like real faded.
Yeah.
And I guess that sign's been there a couple of years.
Oh, really?
But they just
Oh, so
redid
that
it.
was when they redid it, it's probably when I noticed it, I guess.
Yeah. But I guess that kind of, I mean, before they redid the sign, I'd say no. But now they redid their sign, and I'm thinking, oh, heck, I guess they.
So do you get back to making much? You don't have friends there because you left so young. Just your family was from there, right?
From where?
Macon.
No, I grew up here.
But your dad.
And so my dad.
You don't have
yeah.
relatives in
I
Macon?
got relatives in Macon. Both my grandparents have passed away. Laureen and Bill, that was my dad's parents, but still got his brothers there. And so he's got a brother there that sold campers for a long time. He was a camper dealer and or salesman, I guess. But yeah, that's about all that's left down there. I went back to Macon a couple times. We don't get down there much though. We don't go for Thanksgiving like we used to every year.
Broke the habit.
Yeah, broke the habit. Now something else has it.
I had a guy on here that writes songs, and he was from Macon, Georgia, and he moved to Cleveland, Tennessee, and he wrote a song, Leaving Macon.
Yeah.
You ought to listen to it.
What was his name?
Gary Matheny.
Leaving Macon.
Yeah, he does a good job. He's a songwriter and a singer, and he wrote a song, Leaving Macon.
That's pretty
You
cool.
can look it up online. Does see what else? I was going to ask you something else. If you had it all to do all over again, would you have just not gone to college and gone straight into another type of business, or would you have?
I think I think it'd been hard for me to stay away from the store. You know, especially if I didn't get anything from the store other than like the memories of my grandpa.
Yeah.
You know, for 10, 12 years that I got to work with him. And then I've met a lot of contacts through that store. You know, a lot of people, I get to know a lot of people that I don't think I would get to know if I wasn't in there every single day.
And you can talk to them. You're flexible enough to talk to them.
Yeah, I get to sit down. You know, there's been times when you and George McCoy come in. You know, I can come over there and sit with y'all at the bar. Now, we might get interrupted if I got to go sell a trailer or if a pipe starts leaking at the apartments. Or, you know, it's kind of like a fireman's job over there now. I put out fires.
You
but
never know, do you?
You never know what. We joke about that all the time. It's always something different, you know. And but we try to stay proactive. You know, they kind of trained me to think that way. I'm not a proactive thinker all the time. I'm just like a fix it when it happens. But man, you rental properties and different stuff, you got to think about that stuff.
Boy,
you know?
it's a problem.
You got to tell them to leave their heat on when it's going to be below freezing.
Yeah, or what we do is we call them and tell them to open their the doors under their sink.
Cabinets under the sink. Yep. Yeah.
But with this new PEX, you don't have to worry about that as much as you used to.
You about don't even have to worry about it in campers.
Just about, you don't have
My
to worry.
parents bought a brand new camper, and it's an all season, and they say you don't have to winterize it. Or
That's sort of something that's not a problem like it used to be.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm glad of. I wish they'd come up with something else that, besides having to have septic tanks. So
Yeah.
I wish they could come up with some
Wouldn't that be
system,
nice?
because there's so many bad soils around that it really restricts.
Oh yeah.
You know, you could own 5 acres and could sell 2 acres to your kids, but the soil's bad and they can't get a septic tank. So
Yeah.
it almost makes it useless.
Yeah.
Really
Useless
does.
to anybody that it doesn't connect.
Yeah.
You know, and then even at that, they know they got you,
Yeah.
and so
When you're running around with Ben, y'all got the same name.
Ben Moore.
No, Ben.
Ben Carroll.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people come in the store. They'll say, how many cows you got over there now?" And I say, "Well, I don't have any, but Ben Carroll's got a bunch, you know." And so they get us mixed up a little bit.
Now that's John's boy, right?
John's boy, yeah,
I went to school with John.
yeah. Oh, he's a good one.
Yeah.
He comes in the store every morning.
Oh, does
Gets
he?
a bacon biscuit. If he gets 2, then he's getting one for his brother. But David,
What time's he come in?
I guess he comes in about 8:45.
I hadn't seen him in a long time. We had a couple of classes together in school.
You ought to just come get coffee one morning, sit in there for about 3 hours, and
Oh, and my nerves would be
see who
shot.
all you know.
My nerves would get shot because I'm so busy. You know?
Yeah.
I got to stay really moving. My nerves can't take it.
Yeah.
But Ben Moore, he used to come in there every morning too, didn't he?
Ben Moore's my buddy.
He'd park right under that one parking spot.
Yeah. And if there's somebody in it, he'd wait till they move. And then he'd pull up there. And he'd get a cup of coffee. He'd walk in. He'd say, "Ben, fix me a cup of coffee," there whenever he got less mobile.
Yeah.
And I'd take him a cup. I'll never forget, he told my brother one time, he'd grab his cup and it'd have a half a cup of coffee in it. You know, and he'd say, "Heat that up for
Yeah.
me." Well, he's meaning pour
Yeah,
more in
right.
it. Well, Nick took it over and he just hit 2 minutes on the microwave.
I bet he flipped out.
Oh my gosh, he takes it back to Mr. Moore and he just put it right and he starts spitting it out
Lord.
and everything. He goes, "What in the world?" And but from then on, he just poured a little more in it, and so
I went down to see him about 2 weeks before he passed away. And he said, "What do you want, boy?"
Yep.
I was just there to say hi, you know.
That old dog yipping at your feet.
Oh, yeah, and the dog hair.
Yeah. But I took him, I guess it wasn't long before he died. I called him. I was at the Cracker Barrel. I said, Mr. Moore, I got a peach cobbler. I said, you want it? He said, I don't need that. He said, you know I ain't supposed to have sugar. And, you know, you go to his house. And he's got
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't need that. And I said, all right. It wasn't 30 seconds. He called me back. He said, bring that over here if you wouldn't mind. So I took him that peach cobbler. And
I used to go to Jenkins with him quite often, and he'd get a big chocolate ice cream.
Oh,
A
yeah.
bowl of chocolate ice cream.
Boy, he's a creature of habit.
Oh, yeah. Was he? Man, he was.
Did you ever go to the bowling alley with him?
Never did.
He'd come up there to the store every now and then. He'd say, hey, Ben, let's go ride around. I'd get in the truck with him. And, you know, one time we went up to the bowling alley and we just walked in, sat at the bar over there, nothing happening because it was about 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we had a Diet Coke and we went back to the store.
We used to eat at the Liar's table for years before he started going over the Calfies, I guess.
Yeah. Where was that at?
It was old Stadfeld's or Cherokee Restaurant
Yeah.
at the time. Him and Brackett Hooper would come in. You never knew Brackett, I guess, did you?
No. I was a pallbearer in his funeral, and there was a guy by the name of Hooper.
That was his grandson.
Okay. And Hooper's got the farm out there.
Yeah. Brackett was their
Hooper.
daddy. And him and Ben fussed and fought all the time.
Yeah.
Brackett one morning said, Ben, you'd make coffee nervous.
That's funny. That's funny. No, I enjoyed his company.
Yeah, I guess how long's he been passed away now?
Has it been 3 years?
Dang, 3 years. That's
Maybe.
hard to believe.
It seems like it's
I
been
guess
that
it
long,
has been about 3 years.
but I don't know. And boy, he drove all the way up to the end there. I mean, he'd just get in that truck.
Didn't he get stuck in the field somewhere in there?
He's no telling. We rode to this farm one time, and he said, get that gate. Well, you know, from there on out, I was getting every gate. And he about run us off in the creek. And I looked at him, I said, Mr. Moore, with all due respect, let's trade seats.
Yeah.
I said, I'm done riding with you. He said, all right. So he slid over, and I got in that driver's seat. But we drove all over and looked at cows, and he loved that. I remember one time he took me to this farm in Polk County, you know, that he bought.
Yep.
But, no, we did that a little bit there for
See,
a
I
while.
remember these people when they were younger.
Yeah.
I remember when he had sideburns, and, you know.
Yeah, I seen some of them pictures in his office there, but I don't remember that piece of him.
Who else comes in there just like clockwork?
I mean, you hadn't seen you in a couple weeks.
Well, I've been in East Ridge.
We got to get the habit back.
Yeah.
Lord, and George McCoy with you.
Yeah.
Then you get a lot of them just blue collar working guys in the mornings. There's a guy by the name of Tyler Hooper comes in, and he's got a few with him. He's one of our best customers. He's got every single hat that I've ever made, except for this one because I only made one of these. You know, Dole McCracken, he calls that his office, and or his second office.
The surveyor.
Yep. He'll come in there and lay papers out like this, you know, and show it to people. And they'll slide a check across the table. But one day I told him, I said, Dole,
He did this one.
we're gonna start getting a percentage on that. And he just laughed and keep going. But no, it's pretty cool. We get a lot of them that we just get to see them for 2 or 3 minutes. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody sits down and stays a while.
No.
Majority of them don't. They in the summer you got people that come and sit on the front porch, and
Yeah, the summer's a lot, but I'll be glad when it gets warm. I can't stand cold weather.
I'm over it.
I
I'm
just
over
can't
it.
stand it.
Yeah. But we go to the lake a lot in the summer.
Which one?
Parksville. I've been to the Hiawassee. Like I like to go to the marina and eat
Yeah.
dinner. They got some of them wings down there. Them sweet honey, I guess. I don't know what it's called, but they're great. And we like to do that every now and then. But
Do you do any hiking?
no, my wife planned a trip though, a few years back to Utah. And she said, we're going to go. She said, I want to go on a hiking trip. And I said, I don't want to go on no dang hiking trip. And finally I told her, I said, if you'll just plan it, I'll go. And so she planned it, buddy. And we went, and we hiked Angel's Landing. You ever heard of that? And it's one of the top 10 most dangerous hikes in the world. And it I really enjoyed it. I'd go back and do it again.
How long did it take?
Oh, it was all day.
You mean like,
Up and down. I mean, your elevation was, you get up there, elevation and height is two different things, I guess.
yeah.
Because elevation is talking about sea level.
I think so, yeah.
And then, but we got up there and I think we was like 2,200 feet straight down. And there was one or two spots to be as wide as this table and it's straight down on both sides.
Was there many people walking too?
Uncomfortably, how many people. And
You want some, but not too many.
you want some to know you're going the right way.
Was
but
it hot?
Not too many. No, it wasn't hot at all. And the lower you got, the temperature changed. But it was a hike. You packed your lunch in. You know, Zion. It was in Zion, Zion, Utah.
Let's see, that might have been where they had the part of the wagon train they used to go to California.
Maybe. We were out there and we rolled up on these people. There's a cattle drive, and they were taking them to the. I'm gonna get this wrong. The western brim of the Grand Canyon or something. I don't know, but they was taking them 800 miles, and I don't know how many head they had.
What were they riding horses or?
They was riding horses.
I mean, real cowboys.
real
then.
cowboys had about 10.
They'd make our cowboys here look like sissies, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they had about 10 dogs with them, and they had them all going, and they had a couple of trucks that go with them and set up camp. They'd go ahead, sit out with them all night.
Have you seen that guy on YouTube that cooks for those people? I can't think of his name.
Chuck Wagon or
The
something?
Chuck Wagon, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that's neat cooking, isn't it?
Man, I love watching that stuff.
I do too.
You
I
like
bet-
to cook?
No,
Yeah.
but I like watching him. He's got that big Bertha stove.
Yep. Yeah, he's good.
He cooks some really good stuff. It's cowboy coffee and
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, that cowboy coffee, he just puts the grounds in it.
Yep.
You can't drink it too fast
Yep.
or you'll get grounds
Right.
in your mouth.
I think he puts salt in it too.
Yeah. I like to cook, though.
What would you cook?
Oh, I don't know. We made every now and then I'll get a hankering to cook something there at the store, and we'll just make something random. But I cooked a shrimp bisque the other day. I ought to just call you next time I do it and
Yeah.
say, hey, lunch is 12 o'clock. We're eating shrimp bisque. But that was good. Just some beef stew or some stuff that I could put on that skillet.
How do y'all keep the bacon so flat? When my wife cooks bacon, it ends up curls.
We cook it in the oven, and
So it's not fried?
it's not pan fried.
Oh, so that keep it flat, I guess, then, right?
Yeah,
Do you put something on it to keep it flat?
no. I mean, it zips up a little bit.
My wife's, it zips up like this small.
Yeah, I don't know. You better not tell her. You better not tell her you're comparing her bacon. You're gonna get in trouble.
Well, I just wonder how y'all keep it so flat. So it's cooked in the oven.
It's cooked in the oven.
What happens to the grease?
We drain it and then dispose of it. But yeah,
Does it follow the bottom like a pan that?
well, no, it's just in the pan, and we drain it into a big container. But yeah, we do the same thing with the sausage. Everything's cooked in the oven, unless we.
Yeah, you couldn't sit there and fry it. That'd be a whole different operation. wouldn't it?
There's no shot.
It just wouldn't work.
You couldn't keep up with it.
How many loaves of bread do y'all go through in a day?
Oh gosh, I really don't know. I'd say 5 or 10. But I really
That's a
don't,
lot.
I really
That's
don't
all.
know.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe closer to 5. Lots of BLTs,
I'd say it'd be closer to 10 loaves.
maybe. I don't know. I don't pay any attention to the loaves.
And y'all
of
aren't
bread.
open Saturdays, right?
Nope. No, we used to be, and then we ended up closing on Saturdays. Business was great, but I think we all just wanted our weekends.
It's hard to go 6 and 7 days a week.
You gotta. It's
If you'd have to hire help,
Yeah.
and they'd screw something up.
yeah. We've enjoyed it though. You know, I don't feel like my family's ever been greedy. You know, they really pay attention to those things, and that's something they've always told me is, hey, we don't hold you back from anything. You know, so like if I went to auctioneer school, that's no problem. You know, they kind of really lenient in those things. But then again, they want me there. You know, we're gonna be there and take care of things. But
Well, tell me how you keep. Where do you put the barcode on this?
it's just a sticker that I print at the house. I've got a thermal printer.
So you have to what was it like Merker ink or what they call that or? So in order to sell this at a store, you have to have a barcode
A barcode. Yep.
or what do they call that thing?
UPC.
A ULA. Those squares.
QR
QR code. Yeah. You have to have one of them or.
No, it's got to be a barcode.
And that way it's in their system.
That way it's
and
in
they
their
know how
system.
many you've bought and how many they need to.
Yeah, they can keep up. Same at the store if you go and scan that right there.
Yeah.
So it'll have
So you
that.
were a little familiar with it.
A little, but I wasn't familiar with how to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know how to put it in the system, you know, to put it in our POS system,
Yeah.
our point of sale system. But I didn't know how to create it.
So will you have your own display?
Yeah.
Do you have to provide that?
So they call that POP, point of purchase. All stuff that I'm learning, you know, I'm just learning this as I go. They call that point of purchase stuff, and we have to provide. Right now, we're just going to provide a little display that kind of tells our story. I think eventually we might get into the shippers, you know, like
So you'll have just a
a shelf in there with a bunch of hats on it and like a little 12x9 with our story on it.
so you won't have your own stand.
No. I guess I could, but they've got a good stand in there. He showed it to me. He's like, this is going to be the spot. And so
For all the stores, they got the same spot?
we're just starting in this one.
Oh, just in the Cleveland
Yeah.
store.
And then, you know, if it does good there, then we got a bunch more options.
So do they buy the hats first, or they just don't consign?
They buy them. Yeah. So they're going to buy the hats, and then just same as they do everything else in the store. Same as we do. You know, we buy our candy bars, we buy everything, we buy our trailers, you know, and then when they sell them, it's.
So what you
theirs
do
to
is you
sell.
go up there and you buy them all yourself, so they'll think they're really selling.
Yeah. I'm going to call you.
Say,
I'm
boy,
gonna
they
"Hey,
better get, boy, we better get some more of them.
I got some black hats up there. Go get them. But no, you know, I think
I know they got that they also sell that iron skillet company, Manufacturers Lodge or something like that.
Lodge Company.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lodge that's out of Pittsburgh.
Lord, they sell that. They sell green egg, solo stove. They sell guns in there now.
Yeah, that's what somebody said.
I didn't even. Apparently though, that's like an Ace Superstore.
It's got to be one of their bigger ones.
Yeah.
Around.
You know, I've been to the one up there close to Cambridge Square in Ottawa. I don't guess they got guns or anything.
We've been using them in East Ridge for that job. Of course, I'm not sure if that's Elder's Ace or if it's just an Ace, but it's. I think it's Elder's Ace. But anyway, it's good to have one thing about Ace, you generally know how everything's laid out in the store. They may not have 20 of them, but they got 10.
Right.
They really got, the big box stores have multiples, but they really got about the same stuff, just
less quantity.
just less quantity,
Yep.
which they probably don't, you know, you don't need 15, you know, commode valves anyway,
Right.
or flush valves.
Yeah.
So does Calfee's have some rentals? You say rentals, that's the storage buildings?
Yes, sir. The storage buildings and then the plazas. So that plaza that's
Yeah.
behind us, and then the one that's connected to the store.
Yeah.
And then one on Spring Place Road, the Spring Place Village, and then an apartment complex.
Quite a bit.
Yes, sir. We stay busy. And then all the storage units, of course.
The storage units would be probably the least problems, reckon?
Oh, yeah. You're not dealing with water.
You're just dealing with people that don't pay because there ain't enough in there to worry
You're
about
just
paying.
dealing with people. You're just dealing with people.
How many storage units are there?
903.
Golly, 903.
Yeah. So.
I remember when he first built those. That was sort of like the cut. Austin Stevenson started building them, then he built those, and then he built the ones out on
Had them at
Highway
every grocery
60.
store
Yeah,
location. And
that was a good idea, wasn't
Poppy
it?
said the first ones they built them. And so they laid the block and
I'd say they
everything.
did.
So,
Did you ever know Stan Calfee?
no. I'm sure there's a lot of them I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he did all my well drilling.
Yeah. Poppy and them used to be in the well drilling.
I think they may have come from Teleco or somewhere, or Reliance, somewhere like that. The Calfees.
I don't know. I know I guess they had 10 boys back. I don't know if it'd be Willard's dad or, Lord, I should know this. It's my family, but had 10 boys, and that's kind of how the Calfee name got out there so fast.
I know Greg Calfee.
Yeah. He builds houses, don't
Yeah. Let's see, he's another one of those distant cousins, I
Yeah.
guess, right?
he? Yeah. And then like Ron, Rex, and Ray,
I know
the
Rex.
dairy farmers,
Yeah.
they'd be distant
Yeah.
cousins. And
Rex is nice, isn't he?
yeah, he's a nice
Boy,
guy.
he's a nice guy.
He is.
Well, what else is going on? Is that about it?
That's about it for me, brother.
I'm glad you came. Tell everybody how you can get the hats, besides going, with the exception of going to Ace.
Yeah, go to hattaboyco.com and you can hop on there and we'll ship them straight to you. So
You'll even sign them.
if you request it, we might do a special
Thanks
Dee
for
Burris
coming.
signed hat.